What the fuck? Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review, and this movie review is going to be for a film from A24 that's been out for a few weeks now, when I finally decided to see because I didn't have much interest in this one when I first heard of it. And that's of course going to be for none other than this year's other film from Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere All at Once. A film directed by two director duo called Daniels, and this is probably the first thing I've seen from them. But what's the plot of this movie? Well, an aging Chinese immigrant is swept up in an insane adventure where she alone can save the world by exploring other universes, connecting with the lives she could have led. Yeah, so that's pretty much the plot of the movie. How was the movie made? Well, co-directors Daniel Sharner and Daniel Kwan stated that they began researching the concept of the multiverse in 2010, after being exposed to the concept of modal realism in the 1986 film Sherman's March. Kwan described the release of the 2018 film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which also featured a multiverse concept, as a little upsetting because we were like, oh shit, everyone's going to beat us to this thing we've been working on. He also stated, watching a second season of Rick and Morty was really painful. I was like, they've already done all the ideas we thought were original. It was a really frustrating experience. For them, so they stopped watching Rick and Morty while they were writing the project. In early drafts, the directors planned for the main character to have undiagnosed attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, through his research for the project. Kwan learned that he himself had undiagnosed ADHD. So after the film was officially made, edited, and marketed, although I didn't see any of the trailers, the film premiered at South by Southwest on March 11, 2022, and began a limited theatrical release in the United States on March 25, 2022, before a wide release on April 8, 2022, by A24, who had also previously released X this year, which I also liked. Variously described as an action comedy, a black comedy, and a swirl on genre anarchy, the film was acclaimed by critics who lauded its tone, imagination, direction, cast performances, and humor. And so far, it's actually doing decent at the box office for an A24 movie. When it comes to me though, when I first heard of this movie, I had no interest in seeing it because it didn't look that appealing to me when I first heard of it. However, I started noticing the buzz that the film was getting. Almost everybody was going to see it and actually liking the movie for what it was. So I went to see the movie last night. Yes, I know Multiverse of Madness is out this week, and some of you were probably thinking I was going to be reviewing that. But I chose not to see it because, like you already know, guys, I'm MCU retired, and I'm sticking to my retirement of the MCU like I said millions of times before. And it didn't even look that great at all from the trailers. And from everything I'm hearing about it, I've been kind of lucking out. Especially with... Never mind, and knowing you have to watch WandaVision before you see this movie, yeah, no. I am not going to sit through that show just to see this. No thanks. So anyway, back to this movie. What did I think of Everything Everywhere All at Once? Well, I gotta say, I think it's my second favorite movie of 2022. I've never been so fascinated and someone felt stoned out of my mind when watching an independent film from A24 in my life. Or hell, I've never even had that feeling for a film in general since any stuff from Neville, Dean, and Taylor. Everything Everywhere All at Once is even crazier than what you'd probably expect would lead one to believe. It's bursting with so many original, weird concepts and ideas that no serious storyteller in their right mind would ever do to put in their movie. But the Daniels duo did it, and it works all specifically with effective results. These filmmakers chose to not only to put every bizarre idea they can think of into their movie, but they ensure that they even oddly add something to the thought-provoking, emotionally resonant themes that pervade the story. So many angles can be explored surrounding the story of emotional connection to things that distracted from it. As as Eveline connects with her alternate selves and alternate relatives, there is both every love and pity towards them that is explored. It's such a cathartic experience to watch this woman discover what she truly wants from life and loves a better life. Like, if only we could recognize that those who combat us in life do so out of hidden pain and fight them with kindness. If only we could accept our kids for who anyone could accept their kids for who they are and say supportive things from the head instead of trying to mold them. And if only we could be content with the life we have and set aside the idea of the countless other lives we might have led. But we made different decisions along the way. If only we could see that the flip side to life being meaningless and everything ultimately being sucked into the abyss is the freedom that comes from that. But we can literally do anything with the time we've got. I like how this movie really portrayed it. Like the first word in the title, the film feels like everything. While watching it, I thought Stephanie Houzeau was everything too, but then again, so was Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis. The image of Guan Karwai with Ki Hai Kwan making his own light speech is extraordinary, and the fact that James Hong was still able to get a well done performance at age 93 was wonderful. I also loved how birth mother and daughter, troubled as they were with their upbringing, each found comfort in a kind and patient manner, and Tali Middle's character was a nice touch. And all the tones and all the genres are balanced perfectly. It's masterfully written and overflowing with creativity. The editing is unbelievable, and all the elements work together so well. And that's some of the funniest and silliest scenes I've ever seen in ages that mesh up perfectly well with generally touching dramatic moments, and as characters you really come to care for. And the action delivers too, and there's just the right amount of it. I really love how thrilling strange the film is for a while, then you begin to make sense of it, and then it just keeps expertly piling more and more layers on. It does so over a fast-paced 39 minutes in a way where it never actually falls apart. And it has some of the best film references and parodies I've ever seen, for sure. And maybe original ideas like... This proves that while maybe original ideas are becoming harder and harder to come by, but for as long as movies like Everything, Everywhere, All at Once are coming out, the medium of the film will never be truly artistically bankrupt. There have been movies that have tackled some of the ideas here before, but never in a way that's this creative, this funny, and this exciting. And the way it takes an outlandish premise and ties it to real life, real world, and relatable emotions is so incredibly clever. And I really like that even though it's an independent film, it does not have any woke bull crap, which is very refreshing. And I will say that the audience I watched the movie with this was probably an audience I've never laughed this hard in my life. That probably never laughed this hard in their life. I've never been with that kind of audience at all in ages. Like almost every single comedy scene nonstop, you could hear them laughing like crazy. Like there's just so many weird, bizarre, funny moments. Like there's one scene where Michelle Yeoh's character travels to a dimension where all her hands are made of hot dogs. Or hot dog wieners. And there's also one moment where she travels to a world where apparently some guy's trying to get the statue stuck in his ass. Or up his ass. And this little pointy statue even. Yeah, and also there's even a reference to Ratatouille in one part. Not with a rat, though. With a raccoon. So, yeah. So, I really like how he had a reference to one of the best Pixar movies of all time. In one moment. So I really like that. I think the only flaw I have with this movie is that I think it's overly long at times. And I feel like it could have been a bit shorter by maybe like 10 or 15 minutes at best. Maybe that would have been a bit better. But other than that, I have no problems with this film. And I think it's my favorite film from A24 and my second favorite movie of 2022 behind The Batman. And anyway, guys, so with that being said, that's it for my review of Everything Everywhere All at Once, and here's how I'm going to rank this movie. So overall, if you want to see a more original, refreshing film this year and want to have that stoned, laugh-hard feeling you have never had in ages, then I would easily go see this film and then buy it and add to your collection. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank everything, I'm going to give everything a 10 out of 10. There we go. That's it for my review of Everything Everywhere All at Once. And this upcoming week, I plan to check out another new release that's currently still in theaters. I still have enough time to catch this. It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and it's that movie where Nicolas Cage is playing a fictionalized version of himself. So yeah, I plan to check that out this Wednesday. Because I saw the trailer before this movie, and I think it actually looks very funny and very epic, and I've heard it's actually some really good things about it, so I'm going to go check it out. Trying to check out some of the more independent films this year since I kind of plan to check out some more independent original stuff as soon as I retired from the MCU, so it's kind of but still reviewing some big budgeted sequels, of course, and still obviously, because then it's not a complete movie channel. But yeah, until then, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching, and if you like this, want to see more, and don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.